Hey there, folks. Zane from the Infinite Jukebox, aka the #1 Cool Keith fan, here with another quick album review, and today I wanted to talk about the new Sematary record, Bloody Angel. You know, even though I'm not a huge fan myself and don't find myself particularly connected with them, the Haunted Mound collective of rappers and producers has the kind of cult following that's rarely seen in music. I mean, the internet age has allowed a ton of bands to develop cult followings, but really you only still get a handful that have the kind of die-hard, ride-or-die fan bases that Haunted Mound get. I would actually argue that the Haunted Mound collective is up there alongside King Gizzard and 100 Gex among a select handful of other bands of groups that aren't necessarily super commercially successful but still feel culturally impactful in a variety of ways due to the fact that they have so many people so madly in love with the material that they do put out. I was gonna make the obvious comparison of Haunted Mound to Drain Gang, but I don't want to do Haunted Mound the disservice of comparing them to Drain Gang. I digress. Sematary, the sort of de facto leader of Haunted Mound, if you will, has had a pretty hit or miss track record with his consistently releasing mixtapes over the years. And I gotta say that his latest tape, Bloody Angel, is surprisingly strong coming from him. At least that's coming from the perspective of myself, someone who is not a huge Haunted Mound person, for lack of a better term. Cemetery sounds really smooth here, which is nice to see. A lot of the awkward delivery of some of his weaker records over the years is definitely set aside here. And on tracks like Mordor, for example, he really locks into things, and you get some of the most energetic performances that we've seen him lay down in quite some time. And I am very happy about that because I think that the guy can be a really great rapper in terms of pure flow when he just sets his sights on creating something that's really high energy and maybe a little bit more in your face. Not to say that his more atmospheric work is super inferior or anything like that, but I really do like the more hyped moments that Cemetery puts out there. Now, admittedly, a good chunk of the lyrics here on tracks like Hearse Trucks, for example, do feel kind of janky in the try hard, edgy way that a lot of horrorcore unfortunately succumbs to based on the very premise of the genre, but, you know, as a whole, I guess I can't really complain about that a ton. Plus, his generally monotone voice can come across as a bit dry over the course of a 53-minute mixtape, but, you know, at the same time, it really is nice to see Cemetery mostly succeed as a performer throughout a record that is nearly an hour long. The production throughout Bloody Angel is really solid as well, and outside of a couple maybe overdone wall of noise or at the very least wall of sound kind of moments that you get occasionally on moments like the title track, for example, I feel like there is a lot of nice detailing to kind of dig into here to really take in just how much effort went into this record and how much I think that the Haunted Mound Collective manages to achieve a degree of sort of intricacy within their own music. I think that's something that actually goes kind of underappreciated in terms of each of their respective members' output. The guitar manipulation on Barrow White provides a really unique texture, and Wicca Phase Springs Eternal once again proves to be a more than competent producer on said track. I also think that the twisting synths that you kind of get on the track Headlights have a nearly disorienting but very subtly disorienting feel to them that provides a very unique atmosphere overall. I think that the production here in general is really nice. It suits the decaying nature of horrorcore as a whole, the aesthetics that naturally come with the genre, yet at the same time leaves things feeling very modern, especially with a lot of the sort of drill influences that you have going on here, some of the witch house influences that you have going on here that have kind of always been a part of Cemetery and a lot of the Haunted Mound kind of sound, but nonetheless feel fresh, feel modern, don't feel like they're trying to rag on any particular era of a genre. This is a record that has a lot of really strong production that is pretty much exclusively rooted in the here and now, at least in terms of how the genres that this record partakes in are developing, and it's kind of hard not to appreciate it from that perspective, at the very least. I don't think that Bloody Angel is any sort of masterpiece or anything like that, but with that being said, it does kind of feel like Cemetery is, working out the kinks here of some of his previous mixtapes. Not to say he hasn't put out good mixtapes in the past, he actually totally has several at that. but I do feel like some of the issues that have kind of plagued his weaker material here, especially in recent memory, with some of his last mixtapes not really being among his best, a couple even being genuinely bad in my eyes. I think it's kind of nice to see him not necessarily returning to form per se, but returning in a way where I feel like he's kind of trying to take things in a different direction while not straying from the sound that made him such a beloved figure in the first place. It's just nice to hear him have this renewed sense of passion and energy behind his voice with a lot of strong production to boot, even if I do think that there still are some flaws here, some of which are honestly just issues I personally have with horrorcore as a subgenre. But I mean, then again, Clipping's one of my favorite bands, so what the hell do I know? Even if things don't feel totally perfect from here, and most everything after Blackwing's My Team onward kind of feels like slightly unnecessary fat, Bloody Angel is still the leader of the Haunted Mound collective, putting out a solid mixtape, and I can't really ask for much more than that. I'm going to give this record 3 stars out of 5. And with that being said, that is the end of this quick album review. I've been Zay from the Infinite Jukebox. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.